Hello, you sexy souls, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can actually be blocking your own intuition from showing up and in your own life. And so a lot of times when we first get into our spiritual practice or we first hear about intuition, we dive deep into all of the books, into all the podcasts. We are taking in so much information and that we can get a little bit clouded. We have a lot of different ideas going on and we're listening to so many different people that we are hearing and that we are trusting. And by doing that, we're kind of creating this gap of trust within ourselves and trust within everything else around us because we're taking in so much information. And so that leads me into the first point, is that we can be taking in too much of other people's stuff. So if you're consistently watching YouTube videos on tarot readings, consistently getting readings from people, consistently asking other people for their advice or for their opinions, consistently reading books, listening to podcasts about other people, and consuming way more than what you are creating or what you are doing, you are going to naturally, again, create that bridge, create that little bit of friction to actually hearing your own intuition, because there's a little bit of a lack of trust. If you're consistently looking for those other people to validate your feelings or validate what you have this inner gut feeling towards or knowing, then you're not actually creating that trust within yourselves. You're constantly looking out for someone else to give you that thumbs up. Okay, go ahead and go do this. And so if you're taking in so many of other people, you may also not trust the messages that you're receiving. You may always feel like you need to get that validation from that psychic or from that person or from whatever it may be, instead of actually tuning into yourself and instead of trusting in yourself. And so the second one can actually be being resistant to the messages. And sometimes when we want something so bad, or we have a perceived outcome or an expectation for how things should be, we can create, again, that friction, that resistance to the actual message that may be coming through. So say you started a blog and you started to like it, but then all of a sudden it started to make you feel ugh inside. You started to be like, this is draining me out. I have zero energy to do it. You have no desire to write a blog post or anything of that nature. But you decide, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep going it, even though everything in your body is saying, no, I don't want to do it. You're even getting messages from people like, do you really want to do this anymore? And you're having those conversations with friends. But there's that feeling that I have to do this. I should do this. I need to do this because this is my perceived outcome on what I should be doing, on what I should be feeling, and what I should be doing. And so the key word is should. If you feel like you should do something, that's usually not your intuition speaking to you. That's your mind, and that's your ego, and that might be your programming that you had from a childhood or from past lives or from ancestral, that I have to be doing this in order to. I have to be working this job I hate, or working in this field I don't really care for, because I will make the X, Y, and Z. Because I should, because I do need all these things. And, you might be having those other feelings where I actually want to do this instead, but you're resistant to that message because you have this perceived outcome, this perceived outlook on what you should be doing, on what you should feel like you're doing. So that could be another way that you're blocking your intuition, because you have a perceived outcome, you have a perceived expectation that you want so badly that you're negating anything else that comes in that may question that. And so the third one is that you might be comparing yourself to other people. So especially if you are an intuitive yourself, or if you are in some other space, or maybe you're an artist or whatever it may be, if you're consistently comparing yourself into what other people are doing for their business or for just life in general, if you're consistently comparing yourself to them, you're going to naturally begin to create this distrust within yourself. Am I doing the correct thing? Am I putting the right things out there? Should I actually do this strategy even though it doesn't feel good to me? Should I actually put these things out there even though it doesn't feel good to me? When we're doing this, we're not trusting how we are naturally meant to thrive. And each of us come into alignment in different ways. And you can look into your human design a little bit more for a little bit of a deeper dive into those things. But when you're consistently comparing yourself to what other people are doing, you're really just cutting down your power. You're saying, I don't have the power. I don't know how to do these things. I don't know what's going to happen. You're creating that distrust within yourself. And when you have that distrust within yourself, you're not going to be trusting the messages on what you actually could be doing, or what you should be doing, or there's that word again, or what you are meant to do. And so the last one I want to bring up is that you might be energetically cock blocking yourself. So again, this kind of goes back to being resistant to the messages. And so sometimes you can be energetically blocking yourself from receiving those messages because again, you have a perceived outcome for how things should be. Maybe you want something so bad that you only focus your energy on that and you're completely negating all the other possibilities for what could come, for all the other possibilities that can show up. And by doing that, you're not allowing any of your intuition to naturally arise. You're not listening to your body or listening to yourself. And instead you're being so narrow-minded and so focused on this one specific goal. And so this can be a shadow side if you have a defined or undefined Anja and human design as well. And all the other ones that I spoke about are actually shadows of the open head center, as well as I want to say it's the G center in your human design. And so those can actually be big factors into how you're actually showing up with your intuition, because all of our intuitions are completely unique. And by consistently looking out for those other people or being so narrow-minded or focused on these one outcomes or these one things of how it should be, you're negating all this other magic to come into your life. And so I am going to be releasing my course, Heart Centered, which will be coming out tomorrow. But if you want to get on the wait list or you want to make sure you are signed up to hear all of those emails so you can join, make sure to click the link in the bio. And until next time, you sexy humans, peace out.